Absolutely. Now, you'll remember that a few months ago, we spoke to a man that we all were convinced is crazy. Serial adventurer Riaan Manser and his girlfriend, Vasti Geldenhuys, who began their epic journey across the Atlantic Ocean from Morocco to New York in an adventure so daring, so dangerous that they might not even make it out alive, literally, as they battle the North Atlantic Ocean in a 10,000-kilometer journey in nothing but a rowing boat. Now, needless to say, the journey has been anything but smooth sailing, but here's an update from their trip starting out in the beautiful port of Morocco.
We are in Agadir, which is the town that we're hoping to start from, and we, Vasti, organise this amazing accommodation. So a little bit of luxury before we leave. It's a small little harbour town behind us, a port and a marina where we hopefully will leave from.
Unfortunately, Riaan and Vasti's departure was delayed by issues with customs, but it gave them a chance to experience the spice and beauty of Morocco.
Calling our guy Tariq here, him and Nadia. It's Nadia's son, who I know, and he's been helping us, so we're going to try and get him to get the boat out of the harbour today.
But their issues with customs only got worse when they refused to hand over the tracking device for their boat. So they savoured their last good meals of juicy strawberries and fresh fish before the epic journey began.
They've got 3 harbours. They've got like a fishing harbour, which is incredible, with these boats and birds and fishermen bringing their catch in every day. And then the port where was the container harbour where we collected the boat. And then obviously, shucks man, you can see how beautiful this is, lying on the bay of Agadir, and I couldn't think of a better place to start.
Finally, after intense negotiations with the Moroccan government, the boat arrived, and the team started their final preparations, testing every facet of the structure and the equipment for safety.
I try and go to all the things that could possibly go wrong and check and double check and check again. Because you have only one chance to prepare the boat. It's extremely difficult to do repairs out at sea, especially with such a small boat. So one needs to put a lot of extra effort in to make sure that whatever you do is the best that you can possibly do.
If any single item of equipment on the boat was to fail, it could mean the difference between life and death. Despite Vasti's trepidation, it was agreed that the boat was ready for launch, and they set off from Morocco on the most epic journey of their lives en route to New York. The distance from Morocco to New York is roughly 10,000 kilometers. So the first step was to get to the Canary Islands, southwest of Morocco. But the trip, still in its early stages, was anything but smooth sailing. Early on in the journey, the pair were hit by severe weather, with a massive storm on Thursday coming very close to ending their trip. All they could do was hide in the small enclosed cabin on the boat and pray for their lives while riding out the storm. And then tragedy struck. On the 10th of January, the anchor that had held the boat in place during the heavy storms ripped completely from the hull. This meant that Riaan and Vasti had no way to keep their boat stationary. So during the time they were not rowing, the strong ocean currents took the boat north up the Atlantic, further and further from their intended destination. Eventually, after rowing 9 hours a day in 60-kilometer-per-hour winds, Riaan and Vasti reached the Canary Islands. But with the anchor broken, whether their journey to New York can continue from here is a question that remains unanswered.
Oh, wow. Absolutely breathtaking, nerve-wracking, astounding. Joining us on the line right now is the man himself, Riaan. Well, from South African side, a very good morning. Looking at that tiny boat set against the blue ocean, it just looks incredible. Bring us up to speed. It sounds like you've had some major challenges, not just on land, but as you entered into the Atlantic. Bring us up to speed.
Yeah, Graham, thanks for having me. How's it? Listen, it's been a challenge. You know, we were naive. It was fun sitting in the studio there with you guys a month and a half back, and just giving us pats on the back and good luck. But the reality is, as that insert told you, shucks, man, we hit the ground running. It's beautiful. It's an incredible place to be in a small little boat like that. We've gone about 500 kilometers from the coast of Africa, and a very, very big part of this journey was to leave from mainland Africa. No negotiation on that. So we've taken on this very dangerous stretch from there to Canary Islands, where Vasti and I are right now. And it was full of challenges. I mean, physically, first of all, just with our hands and our behinds blistering up to literally being in those massive storms.
Wow. Now, Riaan, I understand there was a 24-hour period where the two of you literally feared for your lives. Just take us through that and what happened.
Well, listen. Usually a storm, if you've got both forces coming from the same side, so if you have northerly winds with a northerly swell, that could be okay if you throw out your parachute anchor. Where we had 60-knot winds coming from the south, and we had 7-meter swell coming from the north. Those two colliding, and with our little boat getting thrown around. It was literally buildings of foam and water just engulfing and hitting us. We're sitting inside that cabin. It would be relatively light in the overcast conditions, but once a wave came over you, it went pitch dark with that boat just being thrown all around. Shucks, man, 24 hours to sit there it's extreme. It's not just sitting for an hour and just gutsing it out. It's literally hour after hour just holding on and not having any reprieve. So if we say we feared for our lives, I mean, I would be dramatic and say we thought we were going to die. We didn't know what was going to happen.
Riaan, I bumped into you and Vasti at the airport on the day that you were leaving, quite coincidentally. Yeah. You guys looked so happy and so pumped up about the journey. How are you guys coping being in that tiny boat together? How has that side of the journey been?
Shame, mate. Listen, everybody wants a relationship. They're going to get good relationship advice from us when we get back. But bottom line is that we have to deal with it. Vasti knows me probably better than any person on the planet. I'm an abrasive character. I'm a difficult guy at the best of times. So she's probably the one that deserves the medal. I think the fact that we were actually locked up for about 60 hours in total with the bad weather either side of the storm. Yeah. So she deserves a medal for bearing with me for those 60 hours. But hey, listen, it's not easy. Even your best friend. I mean, I'm sure you and Katlego are happy to say goodbye to each other at the end of every morning.
Send them off to Europe. Yeah.
But listen, we are happy. Vasti and I had one very, very difficult day. It was actually the day before the storm. I knew the weather was turning bad. I was grumpy, and I wasn't ugly. I was just grumpy, and at the end of the day, I just said to her, you know what? Hey, as much as I was grumpy and I was so determined to make this day work for us, I'm so privileged that I'm doing this incredible thing with her, not with strangers or just on my own as I've done for the last 12 years.
Wow, fantastic. Well, Riaan, they do say that people that travel together stay together, so good luck to you guys, and we'll be thinking of you and praying for your safety all the way to New York, and really we're thinking about your continued success. Yeah, good luck, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, guys.
My friend, sterkte.
Liewe ouers, dis al wat ek nou wil sê.
Unbelievable. I'm going to shake your hand just to show pride. That is unbelievable. I love you, buddy. I love you, buddy, but I'm not going to row across the Atlantic with you.
Well, that's an update, and we'll continue to get updates from Riaan's amazing journey with Vasti. But right now, let's get an update on the latest news.